Hello everyone and welcome to the Make Your Mark question time. My name is Niall and I'm your independent host for today's proceedings. Over the last few weeks we've been collecting a series of questions from students at the University of Wolverhampton, which we will be asking the candidates today to answer for the 4 full-time positions and the voluntary position of Union Chair. For those joining us on social media, you can drop a question below. Please comment under the live stream and we will endeavour to ask the candidates your questions. The way this process will work is I will start with introducing the role that we are questioning, and then the candidate will have a 60-second opening statement to let the students know more about them and what they are wanting to achieve as an officer. After the 60 seconds, I will ask candidates to stop so that it's fair for everyone. At the end of the opening statement, I will then ask the candidates to promote their social media handles so students can find out more about each candidate over the next few days. After this, we'll go into questions where the candidates will have 45 seconds to answer again. Candidates will be asked to stop after this period to keep it fair for everyone. If we have time after the questions we have already received, we will take questions from social media. Some rules for today. Please, no personal attacks or any discriminatory comments. If these do occur, the students will be removed from the stream. Please make sure your questions can be answered by all candidates, no questions specific for an individual candidate. Please only ask questions when addressed so we can keep the audio clear and accessible for all. The second position is the VP Diversity. This position leads on diversity issues, raising the profile and commitment to our wider student body. They also continue to represent the individual needs of the diverse student body, with a particular focus on both postgraduate and international students, and other student support groups. We have 12 candidates for this position, who are Angel, Aisha, Charles, Chloe, Kaynat, Kikeli, Kirsty, Naomi, Emmanuel, Pia, Rupinder, and Zainab. And today we're joined by not only my lovely co-host Jen, who will take up the mantle if my internet goes, which I'm so sorry if it does, but we also have Zainab, Pia, and Angel currently. So I'll get them to introduce themselves. So who are we starting with? First up is Pia.
Hi, my name's Pia. I am a postgraduate student at the university currently. I'm studying for my legal practice course and my master's, having done my undergraduate LLB degree at the university as well. I'm going for diversity officer. I have been on the committee and a member of the society of the LGBT plus society at the university. I was committee chair. Under the committee chair, I was the treasurer and I was a secretary. So that was in my first and second year at the university. I am looking forward to helping people make sure that they are able to achieve the equality throughout the university that they feel they need for their diverse groups, the inclusion of all different groups throughout the university to ensure that we're all able to gain an equal and inclusive experience, and that we are all able to work together to ensure that we are able to progress this into future and ensure that all students in future years can have this as well.
That's great, Pia. Could you just introduce your social media handles for us?
Yep, so I have a Twitter currently for the election, so that is @GillandPia, so GILLANDPIA, and that will have a link to my website as well once that is up and live.
Brilliant, thank you for that information. Next up, we have Angel.
Shall I start?
Oh, yep, you can start now.
Thank you. So my name's Angel Morphew. I'm a final year sociology student and I currently work part-time as a specialist mentor. So I've taught Black History Month workshops, equality and diversity rights modules to students at a college. And on the weekends, I work with disabled young adults, promoting their independence and into the community. So my experience as a student and member of the Board of Trustees, coupled with my mixed heritage, has driven my passions towards equality and inclusivity. I always strive towards making everyone's opinions heard and considered to create an inclusive environment, and consequently I've written my manifesto based on the feedback that I've received from students. So my main points cover zero tolerance towards discrimination, hidden cost campaign, inclusive financial support, BAME attainment gap, mental health, inclusive timetable and decolonisation project. My aspiration is to create a positive, inclusive community that all students can integrate and feel part of the progressive change in our university's culture.
Oh, that's great. Could you just do your social media handles as well?
Yeah, so on LinkedIn, it's just Angel Morphew, and on my Instagram, it's _Angel Alicia, and also WLV Agents for Change. And that's the Instagrams for that as well. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Angel. And then last we have Zainab.
Hi guys, my name is Zainab Abdulaziz and I'm running for Diversity Officer. I'm currently the ACS Vice President, and the reason why I'm running for Diversity Officer is so that I could be a voice for the underrepresented groups at the university. I plan on making societies at the uni interact more with each other so that they can get to know each other, and giving international students a platform so that they can get to know people before they enter the uni. My social media handle, my Twitter social media handle is SHXLEWA.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Zainab. So we're going to use a random number generator to decide the order of questions during the order of the candidates during the question time. The first person to present this is I'm not too sure. Question. So for the first question we're going to go with is, as we're currently living in a very difficult and uncertain times in regards to the coronavirus pandemic, do you as candidates have any ideas going forward as to how we can better support students? And the first person we'll have answering that is Zainab.
So the pandemic obviously hasn't been easy for a lot of people, and in my opinion, the best way to support people going forward is to really just listen to how the pandemic has affected them, how it's affected them mentally and socially, and how us as a university can support them even more, and if need be, provide them with platforms that is there to support them even further.
Brilliant. Thank you, Zainab. Next up, we have Angel.
Thank you. So to answer the question, the pandemic has exposed a lot of faults within the lack of support that's in place at the student union and at the university itself. I conducted some research through speaking with students and course reps to identify some key factors. And the first is mental health. So a mental health helpline to support students 24/7 has been in discussions with the university and the SU for a few years now, and nothing's been finalised. So I want to put in force a strategic plan to get that up and running. And the second factor is tackling hidden costs. I know that BCU gives students each academic year a voucher to spend on materials and resources. It allows everybody to start university and continue on a level playing field. And I think this is something that the university really needs to support its students through the pandemic.
Thank you, Angel. And last but not least, we have Pia.
So my manifesto does focus on both during COVID and post-COVID issues. So the idea that students need extra support, like a previous candidate said, financially. I've looked into whether or not there are opportunities for food banks to be involved in distributing food parcels or vouchers to students who are really struggling, whether that be private halls, student-run halls, houses, just to get the awareness out there that students do struggle with these very small and very basic needs. Also issues surrounding the inclusivity of the university, the ability to mix between different groups. Obviously at the moment that's very difficult, but the ability to use the technology that we have gained and we're able to use throughout the pandemic to join these groups together is really key.
Thank you for that, Pia. So next question we have is, what are you most passionate about changing around the campus, and how would you implement this change? So first up, we have Pia again.
So one of the areas that I looked into in terms of around the campus is the physical side of the campus, the use of the spaces, the ability for students to come into the social spaces, such as the venue, the ability to use that space to engage, whether that be for academic purposes, whether that be for social purposes, but the ability to enhance the way that we use those social spaces, both indoors and outdoors, would allow for students to demonstrate passions, take up new hobbies, create new societies throughout the university. And once we are allowed back, obviously, whilst during COVID, it'd be all online, but when we are back, we're able to gain new independence in the way that we interact with different groups within the university and make sure that we regain that interactive sense of the university once we're back.
That's great. Next up, we have Angel.
Thank you. So the university's culture really needs to change, and it needs to be more inclusive for all the diverse individuals that make up our student body. And the first thing I want to do is to reinforce the zero tolerance towards discrimination. Too many students have experienced discrimination and have had to put up with it on campus and on remote, and it's just not acceptable in 2021. So the SU and the university need to provide better training, awareness and policies for staff and students on race, gender, religion, disability and sexuality to create an inclusive culture and stance against discrimination. And it will not be just a one-off training, but an annual, because the world is ever changing and becoming more diverse every single day.
That's great. Thank you, Angel. And then last but not least, we have Zainab.
So what I'm most passionate about, I've been part of the African Caribbean Society since my first year. And one thing I realised is that we really don't have a chance to interact with the other societies at the uni. So what I wanted to do is literally just implement us, all the societies, doing debates, games night, talks together, and just moving on from there.
Thank you, Zainab. So last question. Aside from your manifesto points, what unique qualities can you bring to this role? So first up is Pia for this one.
So throughout my collective 5 years at the university, I have been, like I said, on the committee for the LGBT plus society. I've also been included in the Law Society and undertaken numerous different types of work experience. All those experiences have given me diverse and transferable skills. They've allowed for me to interact with a varying demographic of individuals and gain communication, interaction, skills that I'm able to bring to the university. So regardless of the individuals or the groups that come to me, either with issues or concerns or suggestions, I'm able to sit down with them and interact with them in a way that they are comfortable with and ensure that I'm able to give the best representation for all the different diverse groups that we have at the university.
Thank you, Pia. And then up next, we have Zainab.
So with the qualities I could bring, I've worked in different industries throughout my life, and I feel like with this, it's allowed me to work on my people skills. So I feel like I'm easy to get along with, and I'm able to speak to anybody. And I feel like this will be really helpful in a role as a diversity officer at the uni.
Thank you, Zainab. And then last, we have Angel.
So I'm a woman of mixed heritage and I've studied for my degree in equalities within society and education. So promote diversity and inclusion in every aspect of my life, and that's why I'm passionate about this role. I've voluntarily worked as a student trustee within the SU. I've made important decisions that benefit students and experienced how challenging making these decisions actually are. So I have created and started working on the decolonisation of the curriculum, and that is my experience in promoting change. And I'm also a really good active listener. I did not create my manifesto on what I thought would be good ideas based on my own experience as a student. I reached out to students and course reps to get your perspectives. So my manifesto is really your manifesto.
Amazing, thank you. So we've had all the preset questions, so now we've got some from the live stream. So first question we have is, what events do you have in mind that will attract the attention of ethnic minorities? And to start off with, we'll be with Angel again.
Thank you. So I think when it comes to events, we really need to understand the student body and what students actually want. There's a lot of events that go on and people don't actually turn up. So firstly, we need to do a lot of research to start off with to see what our students want, what our mature students want from ethnic minorities. I think there's a lot of things that can come through with the Black History Months that we've got going on in October, and it's just not it's inclusive in that sense. So it's bringing other people from other cultures and races into that, so that people can be more knowledgeable about other ethnic minorities in events within societies as well.
That's great. Up next we have Zainab.
I feel like a good event that would attract people is a showcase of people's cultures and talents. So something like, I wouldn't really say a talent show, but more to do with people bringing in their food, wearing their national clothing, and yeah, just different people interacting with each other.
That's great. And then last is Pia.
So throughout my degree, I undertook a year of study abroad, and they implemented, as previously stated, culture nights, and they were really inclusive. They created an atmosphere of interest and intrigue into people's cultures, their heritage. We had food, we had cultural dances, we were able to ask questions, we were able to see the different types of traditions that different cultures engaged in. So I want to implement this on quite a larger scale. So I want to make sure that students have the ability to interact and potentially bring ingredients to make the food in these culture nights, to create their own clothing, to enhance that kind of feeling of community and inclusivity in understanding the different cultures that we have at the university.
Thank you for that one, Pia. The next question we have is, what will you do that no other diversity officer has done before? First for that one is Pia again.
So given the situation that we've been living through currently, the use of technology has been key. And this is something that I definitely want to bring into the role of diversity officer. The ability to interact with the 3 different campuses that we have, given the distance between them and given the potential inability for students to get to and from different campuses, this is something that I want to change, and this is something that I want to ensure that all students living across the 3 different campuses, regardless of ethnic background, race, religion, or sexuality, I want them to feel included and make sure that they are able to engage in these events. And also, so I want to make sure that the use of technology that we've gained throughout the pandemic is something we can take forward to ensure that it benefits all students across the 3 different campuses or across the country where they live, if they are distance learners or those that commute in as well.
Thank you for that, Pia. Up next is Angel.
Yeah, so for this question, I think something that I would do differently, and what I've noticed working at the student union, is that there is a lot of talk and not a lot of doing. So for the hidden cost campaign that I'm currently wanting to do, it's putting forward actual funds so everybody actually starts on a level playing field and continues through that. There's a lot of universities that provide vouchers for students so that they can buy the materials, resources, books, things like that. Whether it's anything to do with the arts and different departments, they're able to purchase that through a website. So that's something I really want to put in place, and I don't just want to talk about it. That's something I really want to do. I feel like with the mental health as well, there's a lot of talk about having a helpline and nothing gets done. This is something I really want to push forward and get it done.
That's great. Thank you, Angel. And last we have Zainab.
So starting uni and not knowing anybody is quite difficult. I remember when I first started, I didn't really know anybody there. So I want to provide a platform where people can get to know people, like make friends before they join uni, and it will be something that international students can use as well, because obviously they're in a different country to us, so they wouldn't really have the same opportunities as that we would to get to know people or even their flatmates before they move to the country.
That's great. Thank you, Zainab. So the next question we have is that we have an incredibly diverse university with many students from different backgrounds. How would you approach a situation where someone due to religious or cultural beliefs would display homophobic behaviour towards students or staff? And first up, we have Zainab.
So the best way to move forward with this is to educate them, because some people, either due to their religious backgrounds, maybe they won't see things from other people's point of view. So some people literally just do need to be educated on the matter.
Okay, thank you very much, Zainab. Next up, we have Pia.
So communication is key. The understanding the reasons behind these individuals' beliefs or the reasons why they may be against another person's beliefs is key. The understanding between the groups is vital to ensure that we are able to work together to ensure that there is no tolerance against, whether that be homophobia, whether it be transphobia, whether it be Islamophobia. Issues within the university affect us all. So the idea of communicating rather than arguments, or whether that be disruption, it is not the stance that we want to take. The zero tolerance policy that the university have across the board is something that we need to enforce and ensure that all students are aware of. And this communication then moves forward to allow for the different groups to discuss the issues that they have.
Thank you, Pia. And then last we have Angel.
So thank you for that question. I feel like this is something that's happened recently before. This is an actual real example, and it wasn't dealt with appropriately. So I think what we really need to do is integrate these societies to work together, and reinforcing that zero tolerance towards discrimination, really educating them through training and through the correct form of training in understanding each other more. I really do think like integration with one another, inviting them to each other's societies and having some mediator in between to understand each other a bit better, because knowledge is power, and the more that you know about other people from other cultures, religions and different social groups is just so important. So yeah, that would be how I'd address it.
Thank you, Angel. So the next question we have, it says, I chair the LGBT+ society, and sadly numerous societies in the past refused to collaborate with us and do events with us. How would you overcome this barrier? It says in the question as well, Zainab, however, this is to all of the candidates. And first up, we have Zainab.
So currently, like I said before, I'm the ACS Vice President. So I currently do have an influence over them, and it will be something that I can mention to them. And even with a lot of societies, a lot of people, like including myself, it's just one of them things that I feel like there needs to be like something to do, sort of thing that everybody can enjoy. So I feel like if the time comes, we'll be able to move forward by finding an event that everybody wants to do and then going forward from there.
That's great. Thank you, Zainab. Up next is Angel.
Sorry, I didn't hear your name then. So yeah, to answer this question, I think it's really important for the diversity officer to actually speak with the vice presidents of these societies and get to build that relationship up with them to start off with, then start to introduce them to other societies and engage that way. I feel like maybe even putting on events themselves as a diversity officer and getting them two groups together or different groups together just to integrate a little bit more and understand each other, have events that promote LGBTQ so they can understand the different struggles that LGBTQ community has been through. Also religious groups understand their points of view and tackle that in that way, I think.
Thank you, Angel. And then last we have Pia.
So to encourage the collaboration between specifically religious societies and the LGBT+ society, having been on the committee myself, I understand the issues that are faced in terms of collaboration between certain societies that may clash on viewpoints. So having an open and honest conversation between the chairs, vice chairs, any member of the committees between these societies is key, ensuring that we understand each other's viewpoints and we understand the barriers that we may face and are able to move forward progressively. And whether that be slowly, that is fine, understanding the reasons behind the issues and being able to face them head on and ensure that we are fully appreciative of the issues that they may have, and they are appreciative of ours as well.
Thank you, Pia. I think that's it for the questions now on the live stream, so we'll wrap this up then. I just want to say thank you to all the candidates. You've all been brilliant answering the questions, and especially on a virtual method, you've been amazing. Thank you everyone for joining us today for the VP Diversity questions, and thank you to our candidates. Voting opens on the 1st of March. Head to the Wolves SU website, www.wolvesunion.org, where you can read everyone's manifestos and decide who you would like to vote for. The next session is at 2:35 for Union Chair. Thank you.